How does content marketing work for MSPs? How do you create content to attract and get new leads for your MSP business? This is going to be perfect for people that hate cold calling, hate going out in person to go meet people. And I'm going to show you guys the process that you can go through to convert your content into leads for your MSP business. My name is Harrison Marin from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing, or even business operations. We've been super fortunate to help a ton of you guys grow, and this is a continuation of our marketing series of how to market your MSP business. Now, if you're listening to this on the go under the MSP Heroes podcast, we truly appreciate you checking that out. But hey, if you're in there, feel free to give us a good review. We work pretty hard on these videos. So let's talk about actually going through and building the content. And I have a ton of resources, by the way, at growth-generators.com/resources. But there's a ton of stuff that you can steal that's going to actually help you with this entire process. So what is content marketing and why does it actually work? Content marketing is your ability, or maybe your team's ability, to create content. And that content, I'm going to share my screen here. And I made a video just prior to this about all the types of content that you can make. This is more of an abbreviated version of the content that you can make, but more of how to leverage that to get people to come in, give you their information, and turn those people into actual leads. So you have your ideal customer here. Yes, he looks like Sid the Sloth. I am not a professional drawer by any stretch of the imagination. And we have the content, right? Blogs, videos, podcasts, case studies, ebooks, and there's so many other options out there as well for content creation and where that content actually goes. But that content that you're going to make is being distributed on the internet, right? Whether it's a visual experience with a video, it could be an auditory experience with a podcast, it could be a combination, which is also a video. Maybe it's just a purely visual experience of reading through a blog post. But ultimately, the goal of your content is to create content and have the internet kind of work for you instead of work against you. You see, as you go create content, whether that's content on your website, content on social media, content on YouTube, Google, all of that is going to be dispersed into the world. And the algorithms are going to draw people in based on what they think people want to see. So for example, if you're an MSP and you're creating content about HIPAA or FINRA, it's going to start to show that content out to your target customer. You see, the algorithms want people that are searching for information to actually go find that information. And they're constantly testing to see if your content is better than the last person's content. And if it is, then you're going to win higher in the rankings. And if it's not, you're not going to do so hot. But over time, you can perfect it and get better at that. That's part of what content marketing is. Now, how does this actually work for you? Well, people begin to see you more and more, and they begin to trust and like what you have to say. In most cases, if I only made one video, we would probably get a couple leads, but people wouldn't have the full confidence in us to teach them sales and marketing and business operations if we didn't have the hundreds of videos now that we've made over the last year and a half or so that prove not only we know what we're doing, but there's tremendous value there that you can take action on. There's no monetary exchange. You might watch an ad in the beginning of this video, but for the most part, after that, you're taking that content and you're able to run with it as far and as long as you'd like to have success. That's how content marketing works. The viewer, the audience that you're trying to attract, looks, hears, however they absorb your content, and says, hey, this added value. And the more times they either come back to that content or the algorithms show them that content over and over and over again, the more trust and credibility that potential client has with you and your MSP. That's how content marketing actually works. So let's talk about how the content can turn into leads, because I think that there's a big discrepancy between, well, I'm making a bunch of content and I'm not getting the attention, I'm not getting the leads, I'm not getting that beautiful first name, last name, phone number, and email address, and maybe the problems that they're having with their business. That's where things get a little crazy, because in this video, I want to show you how you can take the content and then turn it into the important stuff, that contact information that you could pick up a phone, make a phone call, you can send them an email, you can reach out to them. Heck, maybe you want to pop in and leave them your business card. That's the beautiful part about content. So I'm going to share with you guys my state-of-the-art visual experience, which is called Microsoft Paint. But the important thing is the types of content, right? And I truly empower you to make the content that you feel comfortable with. If you feel like you are a great writer, make blogs. If you feel comfortable or maybe a little less uncomfortable being on video, make video. You don't need anything crazy. Little cell phone will do you a great service. If you're podcasting, right? I have my microphone here from a prior video, but go get a USB microphone. These microphones are fantastic. Maybe a great one will run you about $100, maybe $200, and you can use it in your Zoom calls and everything else. But the audio quality from this compared to that camera or my little USB camera up here, tremendously, tremendously better. So investing in good, especially if you're going to do a podcast, is not the worst idea in the world. Case studies about how you've helped other businesses. And then ebooks, the process of giving them the recipe for success is really, really important. Now, as far as content distribution goes, it really depends on the platform, right? In this case, we'll just drop this down a little bit. We'll make it kind of easy to read. But blogs are going to go right on your website, right? There's nothing different about that. You want your blogs on your website. Videos, your videos could be on social media or YouTube. That's it. That's really where you want the videos to be. Anywhere else other than that, they might not get the exposure that they want. Now, if you put them on social media and you put them on YouTube and then you further push them out through other channels, that's never going to be a bad thing. Podcasts, right? Apple Podcast, you have Google Play, you have Spotify, and so many more. I'm just going to stretch this out here to make it easy. But you want to distribute your podcast across as many platforms as you possibly can. That's the beautiful part about having a podcast. And the nice part is a podcast between 10 to 30 minutes long is great. People can listen to it on their way to work. Most people, I want to say drives about 26 minutes on their way to work. So in a 20-minute period, they can consume your whole podcast and get value on the way to work or on the way home from work, or maybe even on their lunch break. Case studies, they're going to live predominantly on your website, right? They're really not going to live anywhere else. And then ebooks, same thing, right on your website. There's really nothing else you could do there. But the interesting thing is as you post your blog posts, your ebooks, your case studies on your website, the algorithms are going to be the things doing the work. Just like the podcast, the podcast algorithm is going to try to get you viewers and subscribers and see how many times people are coming back. They're going to either promote your show or demote your show depending on the attention and retention you get from it. And then video, social media, and YouTube, they are absolute monsters. Between Google, right, that's going to index your website, and YouTube, those are the two largest search engines in the world. You should be leveraging them bar none. It is the most important thing. But Harrison, I came here to learn how to turn these people from the content that I'm making into actual leads, right? I'm getting there. Trust me. You see, through this process, and I absolutely love this little board here. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I do, right? We have money, right? Because money is going to be leads for the business. The more leads you get, the more chances you have to close business, the more you can actually grow. And we have our ET looking person here, and they are looking at all of this content, right? Which is exactly what we want to do. That's why we're creating that content. We want to attract more people to them. But how do we get this person to completely cut over to that money? This is where you have landing pages and what are called lead magnets that come in. So I'm just going to write in here, you have a landing page, and we also have lead magnet. These are going to be what people actually get out of it. Your landing page is going to be all about your conversion, right? Conversion. And I'm just trying to type this up, so if you want to do a screen grab, you're welcome to. And your lead magnet is going to be the value add. You see, the lead magnet with the value add is tremendously important. You have a landing page that people are going to say, hey, I read the blog. This is super interesting. Maybe it's how to make sure, or 10 problems that every doctor's office has when becoming HIPAA compliant. And they read it and they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about this, right? And at the bottom of it, you say, hey, by the way, these are the 10 problems. Get the 10 easy to implement solutions to help your medical practice be more HIPAA compliant. Doesn't mean they're going to be HIPAA compliant, more HIPAA compliant. And that doctor, a medical professional, reads and says, okay, well, it's good to know what we're doing wrong. And you know what? I wonder what we could do right. That way, if we do get fined, maybe it'll prevent the amount of damage. And I'm using a very blown out scenario. Don't come after me, please. But I want people to fully understand that hitting that like button, subscribe button, notification bell helps. But truly, that person coming to that blog post is seeking more information, right? This medical professional, I'll do a little cross up here for the nurses and the doctors, right? We got a little cross up here. They're going to that blog post and they're consuming that. And they say, hey, that's really, really good. This is exactly what I wanted to see, right? Green checks, super helpful, super informative. And then they go to the end of that blog post and they go, you know what? Where to next? And I'm going to draw some blue here. So they come to the blog, they see it on your website, and then they go, you know what? Hey, there's something at the blog post that says I could get more information. They're going to go and land on a landing page. That landing page is strictly there to convert them over into a lead. But that landing page is really important because that landing page then talks about the lead magnet, the value add they're going to get by converting on this landing page, by giving you what we want in the worst way, which is going to be first name, last name, phone, and email. And I'll try to keep this all on the screen here for you guys. But that's what we want. We want to get their first name, last name, phone number, and email. With that, we can do stuff with it. We can create things. We can reach out to them. We can call them. But we need to say, hey, in order to get this massive value add here, we're going to need this information down here. That first name, last name, phone number, and email address. And that person's going to say, great, I would be interested in giving that to you to get more value out of that. Now we have exactly what we were looking for from the beginning, which is going to be a lead, right? We have their contact information. We can now go through and call them. We have their first name. We have their last name. We have their phone number. We have their email address. They've now converted. They've gotten value out of that, and now they are a lead. Now, when they're in that lead status, we can do a couple different things when they hit this point. And that lead status allows us to do, as I said, call them and reach out to them. But not everybody is ready to break out their wallets and pocketbooks and say, hey, you know what? Take all my money. I want you to take over the business or take over all of our technology. And here is the key to the castle, right? They're not ready for that yet. So while we want them, and in some cases they might go directly into becoming a new customer, in many cases there's one kind of interesting in-between step that we have to go through, right? They've become a lead. They're in our system. We have to nurture them. If we don't nurture them, they might not be fully interested in doing business with us. They might not get the value that we're hoping for through this process. So in some cases, yes, they are 100% going to turn into a lead, but that's fairly rare unless your marketing is really, really good, right? And this is more geared towards the beginners. But we need to take that lead and we need to bring them into a nurturing sequence before they're ready to give us that information. And that nurturing sequence in most cases is going to be automated emails that provide value. In many cases, and sorry, I keep flipping between the camera and the I guess whiteboard, the Microsoft Paint. In many cases, we can actually leverage, I'll use some pink in here, we can leverage the videos that we post on social media or YouTube. We can leverage the podcasts that we're making. We can leverage the case studies, the ebooks. All of these areas can go into different emails that they're going to receive. And this is going to be my wildly awful email here. But we have that nice little email. We could implement those and put them in here to say, hey, we're nurturing you. These people might go around several times through multiple different emails, consistently getting value. And they might be in there for a while. They might be in there for a short period of time. They might not ever really receive an email. They might say, hey, this is so much value. I'd like to do business with you. And then from there, they could go through and they could become a true, not even a prospect. They could be ready to buy. I have had this happen. They've gotten so much value in the beginning that they go, you know what? This is what I needed. This is not only what I needed, this is all the information I've received. I feel extremely confident based on the information that I've gotten, the trust that I've built with your company, that you guys can do business with us, and we're a great fit for your business. It is the easiest, and I mean easiest, sales call on the planet. Somebody who doesn't even know sales, your level 1 technician, without even knowing the numbers, could bring them from a lead to a close because they've gotten so much value that as long as they don't say something ridiculous, silly, or dumb, they are interested in doing business with you because you've hit all of the value points. They feel so confident that giving you their money is the best option for their business that they don't decide to do anything else. Like, the best way that you could support this channel is that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell, which I truly appreciate. But that's how content marketing truly works from beginning all the way to end. Now, you could get crazy with this, and this is a very oversimplified version of what you can do, but this is truly the core of what happens. This person finds value through a blog, video, podcast, case study. They say, you know what? There's so much value here. There's something interesting. There might be something I might learn more. They're going to go to a landing page. They're going to get your lead magnet. They're going to give their first name, last name, phone number, and email address. They're going to become a lead. And then you're going to nurture the heck out of them and make sure they get so much value until they either decide to become a customer or they say, you know what? Take me off your email list. I'm no longer interested. And both are fine. Trust me, if they're asking to leave your email list, they weren't going to be a customer anyway. It's a hard pill to swallow. I know it. Trust me. But that is the process on how to use content marketing to bring somebody over from a prospect all the way through to a new customer and a new lead that you can turn into revenue for your business. So if you found some value in this, please hit that like button, subscribe button, that notification bell. There are a ton of super helpful links down in the video description. I'd highly recommend checking them out. As I said in my last video, we have a crazy Q4 that is about to launch. We're in the process of building and recording the marketing training for MSPs that will include nothing that has been on YouTube already. It is going to be the best stuff we've ever made. Unfortunately, behind locked bars. But hey, we run a business too. I wish I could do this for free forever, but YouTube doesn't give me that much money. Other than that, I love the heck out of you guys. It truly means the world to me that you guys are watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then.